You were German?
Wall.
Yeah.
That's very nice. What did you do? Did your folks come over from Germany years ago?
My dad and mother both, yeah.
Oh. Where'd you shoot this?
It's up in Oregon Bulb Farms.
Isn't that funny you said Oregon? That means you came from another state but California.
Why?
Well, that's not pronounced Oregon.
It's true. We call Oregon.
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 I'm sorry about that.
I'll ask you again. Where did you take this picture, Herman? No, Willie. Where'd you shoot it?
Oregon?
Oregon. When did you shoot this picture?
About 1962, 3.
Nice picture. Isn't it?
Lovely picture. A lovely picture.
In the era of 35 millimeter and smaller cameras today, what'd you shoot that with?
These are all 4.5s. Available light, tripod. Long lens, keep the background soft.
How long a lens on a 4x5?
About 9.5.
You know, the 4x5 is coming back in again.
Is it?
Look at this, George. From the beautiful flowers. We'll come back to these flowers. There's some more of them. Look at this.
Now, this was taken a while ago, wasn't it?
About 1941.
Yeah, that's a while ago.
Made for Balti for their advertising and then used in the bond drives.
Were you shot, when you took this, were you a civilian or were you in the military?
I was a civilian then.
Civilian. George, look at the nice use. I
Yeah.
assume you used flash to match or
That's
artificial
right.
light.
Flash, the yellow flash indoors and in the bomb bay, and then the blue flash on the outside.
Wonderful picture.
And then exposed for the sky. And these are all uniforms, British uniforms we got in the prop house, the loading of the bombs and so forth.
Nice picture. How this was used in the bomb drives, in the bond drives?
And for Balti, this is made for the British. And it went into the art director show, San Francisco art director show.
Herman, is it difficult to match the artificial with the, because you know,
Yeah, well, we had a system down where we could read the meter on a photo flood and then convert it to flash, and that was your f-stop.
that's nice.
That's before there were flash meters and all those good
Oh,
things.
that's true, yeah.
That's really good. Look, before we get too deep, because I have some questions here, let me just say that name of the show is Talk About Pictures. I'm George Fenneman, and this is our friend Lee Weiner, who is a very, very good professional photographer. And with us is our guest. I guess you could say that you've been taking pictures a long time, too.
Yes, I have.
Mr. Wall?
When's the last time I called you Mr. Wall? Wasn't Lieutenant Wall? The reason I say, George, is if you let me go from there to this, look at this. Herman?
Well, that's real, though. This you set up. The one
That's
you just
right,
saw.
uh-huh.
This was set up.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
mhm.
But
That's advertising.
Herman, you went from this as a civilian. Did you get a direct commission to do this? Were you an officer in the EM? How did you work that?
I got a direct commission from the Motion Picture Academy, and I became a second lieutenant.
You like that, George? Second Lieutenant Herman Wall
And
from
then I
civilian
became
Herman
a
Wall.
first lieutenant, and then I became captain. And when I retired, I became a major.
Tell me something.
Yeah.
In that kind of, where was this shot?
This was on Normandy, Omaha Beach, and all 35 millimeter.
Herman, we had Joe Rosenthal on our series.
The what?
Joe Rosenthal, the photographer,
yes.
shot the Iwo Jima picture. And there was a similar picture of him in a landing craft. He had some interesting thoughts that went through his head in that craft. What went through your eye?
Well, like any job, I was interested in the photography. I wasn't even frightened until that.
That's exactly what Joe said.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So it's a kind of, the photography took away the burden of worrying
That's
about
right.
the enemy.
You-
And I assume this is another one that you took.
And these were the original, or the first still pictures to me, Army still pictures that were made at the time, and consequently were used very heavily. After the first day, the storms came in, and they weren't able to get anything out, you see. So they became important for news release.
Look at this, George. I know the story of this. Herman, tell George a story of that. That's
I photographed this man. I didn't know him from Adam, of course, and about 6 months later in the Army hospital, I was in the lobby. I was on crutches here.
Excuse me, I must interrupt. You shot him when?
On D-Day.
oh, this is actually D-Day.
Yeah, that's right.
How
This
soon
stuff
were
is
you
happening.
landed?
It's about 90 minutes
90
after
minutes
D-Day.
after you landed.
And when I went through the pictures, I met this man, GI, in the lobby of the hospital. Where were you? Normandy. What beach? Omaha. What sector? Easy Red. Well, I was there. he was there. I said, come up to the ward, and I have the copy of the pictures. I showed him the pictures. He said, that's me.
Oh, it is a small world, isn't it?
That's a picture you shot of him.
66 months later, and out of 1 million men, there he is.
Question, he was in a hospital? You were in the hospital. Why were you in the hospital?
Why was I there?
Yes.
Well, I was injured on the landing, and so was he. See?
So after you shot that, you were injured?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to something earlier in your life, Herman. 1930s look.
1930, Bear Creek Orchards. Illustration for Frank Taylor, the writer. I don't know whether you remember him or not.
Yes, I do.
And I made a whole series up there in color. And this is all available light outdoors.
In 4x5?
4x5.
Yeah.
It has a quality, doesn't it?
It has a
George?
4x5 look.
That's coming back. Just so you look.
That's nice. Oh, I like that.
This is Archipenko, the European sculptor.
Yes, yeah.
And
Wonderful shot.
Yeah.
this made in the middle 30s, along with his statues. And
You had to light this.
yes, we had to light this, and when I brought the prints to him, he looked at them and he looked. He says, "It looks just like me."
Well, that's
liked
rare.
it?
Isn't that rare?
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah.
Herman, how many subjects have you had say that to you?
That was the only one, I think.
How about
That's a
this?
wonderful picture.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. That's great.
Another 30s picture?
Yeah, early 30s, and
Who's
one of
that?
my early salon prints. It's a man by the name of Risso, and his son used to be the one-arm tennis player out at the Bel Air Country Club before in the 30s, and he brought him down to the house, and one light like you're using here, you
Right.
know, and well, you just couldn't miss, you know.
Oh, that
Herman,
face,
Herman,
that
you
wonderful,
just said something very
craggy.
interesting, George. Herman said something interesting. Maybe our audience would like to know.
Salon, huh?
No, we'll come back to that, but how we're lighting this show. I mean, when the audience sees a picture of Herman, our guest, he's being lit by only one light, correct?
That's true. That's amazing.
And when they see a single shot of George Fenneman,
I'm lit by 5 lights.
nah,
I'm
come
not
on, let's be fair. George is only being lit by one shot. And the whole concept is that George's key light, my key light, serves as our guest backlight. And our guest backlight is our key light. So this whole show is actually lit by only 3 lights. 2 for our guests and ourselves, and 1 for the photographs. I just thought it might be an interesting point they might want to know.
Comes to 4 lights. But,
Yes.
This was used in many salons in Europe and America.
what happened to the salon?
Yeah, well, I was trying to ask, what is a salon print?
Well,
How do you define a salon
It was a
print?
kind of artsy-craftsy thing for a long time, wasn't it? I
Well,
mean,
you could submit 4 prints, and then they would accept it, you see. And one amazing thing, I'd shipped to Holland, and my middle initial is V, and I lived in Hollywood, so I would always get a reproduction, Herman Wall, Hollywood, California. Then when I'd submit in Germany, Herman von Wall, Hollywood. I don't know who I am.
But Herman knows the content of the photograph does not affect whether it's a salon print or not. It's the fact that it's entered into a salon. That's what makes it a salon print.
You got me.
do they still have salons, really?
I don't think so,
They've
not like
fallen
they
into
used
kind
to.
of a
This was
disrepute, haven't they? With,
yeah, in
with
the
what's
20s,
going on
30s, yes.
in photography today.
And, Mary
the quality.
Carlisle, this was in the
Yes,
30s.
Mary
and,
Carlisle.
Mary Carlisle
yeah.
Blakely.
Well, I know a musical
you?
comedy. No, I don't know her personally,
No,
but very good actor.
yeah.
You know, played a lot of shows.
How was it shot?
I had an Autographlix at that time. It was on the boat that went to Catalina. The,
Autographlix is the one with the long.
well,
You
and,
look down into.
and the long bellows.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
That's not natural light, is it?
yeah, sunlight.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Beautiful quality.
How long the lens, Herman?
About 9.5.
Oh, it's-
No, 11-inch, I think.
You're not going to believe this, you know, in this day and age of 35 and stuff, I take pictures with a 4x5 Graphics and a 40-inch shoot portraits. I enjoy
Really?
it very much. Yeah. It's a beautiful picture. Similar type of thing. Was this also outdoor natural light?
Sunlight, you bet. That's a great light, you know. That, sunlight and daylight.
Yes, it is.
There is a feeling about that camera, isn't there, and that combination
Yeah, yeah.
that you don't get with 35. Am I right, or would
Well,
I get an
I would
argument?
argue with one point that I have a 125 millimeter Hector lens, which you use in the bellows, a Leica lens, 125, not the 135. And I got to tell you, you can get that quality, but that's beautiful quality.
Well, there's there's a distortion that you get, isn't there, with your lens and your bellows
No.
as compared?
No.
No.
No?
The only way you can notice that is when you get within 2 or 3 feet of it, but you stand back 6 feet and you can't tell 35 or 4 or 5.
Not today you can't.
No.
Look at this.
that. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, I love it.
Is that shot
I love
from
it.
ad, or what was it? Was that an assignment or what, Herman?
Oh, this was, I was working for the YMCA at the time. In fact, I worked at the Hollywood YMCA while I was going to art school,
Which art school?
the Art Center School.
Oh, yeah.
And
So, excuse me, one second.
Will
Keep going.
Connell was a teacher?
oh, yes.
A
and,
great photographer teacher,
great-
wasn't he?
great
Photography
photographer,
teacher.
great teacher.
Yeah.
And,
And a funny man, too. He had a great sense of humor.
Keep going. What else did you study at Art Center besides photography? Will Connell, obviously photography. Did you study anything else besides photography?
that was it. We
Connell
had
was a great
composition and drawing, too, you see. But
You did have drawing.
I just love that picture. That's just-
George, I like the story. I had heard the story behind this. I love the story behind that. Herman?
Well, you tell me.
This is the 1st Cavalry Division that was shot down in Yuma while they were on maneuvers.
When?
And that was before Pearl Harbor. After Pearl Harbor, they took their horses away and shipped them to the Philippines.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
I remember
That's
that.
how you do it, you know.
but the composition of that, I mean, it's just a perfect setup. You couldn't miss, you know.
Yeah, but I like the thinking, you know. You train them on horses, and then you keep their horses, and they stay.
Well,
you go.
Send them.
That's
You
another
ask for the
idea.
ski patrol, and they send you to the South Pacific.
You said it.
Yeah. Now, this is the same series.
It looks almost like something from a movie.
Where's John Wayne? He could be, you know. There's John there.
Yeah.
Look at the helmets, George.
Yes.
Now we come to something very interesting, George. From that, look at this. And this is one of the reasons that Herman's work excites me.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't limit. He's not in a box.
you-
He shoots portraits.
And that has
This was
wonderful-
made for Eastman Kodak Company, the magazine called Applied Photography. William A. Reedy, director.
How long
And,
ago?
Oh, this is within the last 10, 15 years.
But you know, that's a great
Yeah.
magazine.
And it's out of print now. He passed away.
Right.
And he's the one that started the advertising products with,
Photography.
in this case, it was Franciscan ware. Outdoors on location, available light.
That's all available light?
All available light, yeah. And
35?
the others, no, this is 2 1/4.
And I guess
Hasselblad.
there is only one 2 1/4 camera today, isn't there, unfortunately?
Well, I think that's the one I like. And,
Oh, boy.
And,
This is the same series, right?
yes, and these are all on location. This is up near Mammoth, but the amazing thing on this, of course, the film is Eastman Kodak, white and black. And, I mean, if you get a good black and a clean white and still retain your color,
Yeah.
It's tough.
it's
That's got a great feeling.
available light with just one little hand reflector, you see.
It's very nice.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
If you think that's beautiful, George, we like to one-up ourselves in this show.
Well, you're,
Well, let's just put it right here, so the poor cameraman.
Was that also, that's also available light?
yes, all of it. And of course, the problem is to find a location and then have all the props available before you go up.
What do you like to shoot best? You like food?
If I can eat it after I get through it.
I'd like to have some of that right there.
But if you had an open-end assignment, someone says, hey, Herman, we'd like to go out and we want you to shoot 10 pages for our magazine. Anything you really want to shoot. What do you think you'd...
I don't know.
You've done it all, haven't you?
That's right.
You've done
I like
you
them
know,
all.
the portraits you've done are just
The-
magnificent.
it's a problem, you know.
And the still life, you know, this is, which is an area that I enjoy. I've never
Yeah.
done anything like
So
this.
you would enjoy still life more than people, wouldn't you? No.
Oh, I don't know. I like people that I'm posing. I don't have the nerve to take the grab shot that this fella does.
I like the people I work with, too. Very interesting, you know. Now, this is up at the same location called Archilarius Ranch. It's about 10 miles northeast of Mammoth. And this set up at the same place, food setup, Franciscan ware. That's the
Again,
shop.
Hasselblad, again, of natural...
These are all Hasselblads, yeah.
Electrochrome.
All 2 1/4.
Beautiful.
You know, and it was a time when they wouldn't
Jeez.
think of shooting food with natural light. Oh, here's another
Ooh.
series. Take a look at that.
See
That's
here,
a
the
pretty
river for the
complicated picture.
That
background.
really is, yeah.
And originally we had the snow-capped mountains in the back, and back at Eastman in the lab, they would look at it and everybody would say, look at those snow-capped mountains.
Yeah,
They never
forget-
saw the food. So we had it cropped off.
But the mountains were in this photograph.
Well,
Yeah, they
the
were
thing was
original.
square to begin with anyway,
Yeah, that's
wasn't
right.
it?
And so bring your eyes back to the product.
Do you learn much from designers, from art directors?
It's hard to say, yes and no. They have the layout, they have the thought behind it, and this is what you've got to follow, but this is on our own, you see. We can pick our locations.
When you say we, Herman, you're talking about a staff or
Well, no.
just being modest?
Let's say
I?
Eastman Kodak makes the film, and
Oh, yes, of course.
you know, the old story.
Yes, but for example, an
You
art
don't do
director,
it on your own, let's face it.
Yeah, but you at that moment.
That's right, that's
you,
right.
it's up to you to see the picture.
This is a Dow Chemical ad, soil fumigation.
All right, question, germane to what we've just been talking about. The art director calls you up, retains you to take the picture. Did he come out with a sheet, with a sketch of what he wanted?
On some assignments, the advertising,
this
this
assi-
is
on
kind of
this
a
assignment.
documentary. No, we don't have, you just go out into the area and see what you can do with it, you see.
So now you can bring your design.
That's
and you-
right,
that's,
yeah. These are your
That's
own
great.
compositions.
That's a
yeah.
swell composition.
Yeah.
I was getting at it because you said when you went to art school, you took a course and some other courses beside photography. I think we got a couple of guests here who emphasize the importance of design. I think this, either consciously or unconsciously, shows beautiful sense
Yeah.
of design.
Well, you've got to have the feel. I mean, the pictures came first, and then the rules of composition came later, originally, right?
Do you enjoy breaking the rules sometimes?
All the time. This what makes it interesting, you see.
That's nice. We are back.
This again is the Oregon Bulb Farms, Oregon.
No, Oregon.
Oregon. And these were hung in the World's Fair, New York World's Fair in 1966-67, and in the Eastman exhibition, and had a medal award out of it.
Beautiful.
These are the original prints, by the way.
Thank
that
you,
were hung
thank you
in-
for bringing them on the show. I appreciate that. Let me ask you about these. Again, natural light?
All natural light, and this is a soft light, overcast. We have a lot of overcast up in Oregon.
I've heard that,
Yeah,
George.
yeah.
I have
And,
heard that.
It's just a perfect light for any type of photography.
4x5?
4x5, that's right.
Look at this.
I'm sorry I don't know the names of these.
That's a lily.
These are all hybrid lilies.
Yeah, yeah.
All
And
right.
each year they have new hybrids. So you've got to go back up and shoot the new hybrids. And
Beautiful pictures.
I went up there in 1946.